Good afternoon. Let's just jump in today. The title is Aware Intelligent Choices Demand Non-Neutrality. There is a concept in spiritual circles that I bought into myself for a time, until I saw how insane it really was. I realized that this was part of the brainwashing agenda to keep people from taking a stand for things that really matter. Things like justice, peace, and fair distribution of wealth. The sad thing is that so many spiritual people have bought into this horrendous lie often sold to us by channeled entities. If we are going to change the world now, it is time to make our choice as to what kind of world we want. To choose justice is to expose and correct injustice. To choose peace is to expose and stop the financiers of war and violence. To choose prosperity for everyone is to expose the familiar economic system based on lies, fraud, and corruption at the highest levels of human society and create a more fair and transparent system of distribution. And for those of you who bought into the lie that it can't happen in our lifetime, wake up. It's happening now. This is the time we've awaited, and we are the ones to do it. It does, however, require our choice. The world as it has been, or the world as it can be. Which do you choose? Someone posted the other day on my Facebook wall one of those little, this one is from Freedom is a State of Mind, and I don't know if that's the people that put it out, if that's an organization or something, or just an individual. I don't know, but the whole thing says this: when you label anything, you say, this is the way it is and the only way it can be. This only serves to limit your own understanding. To be truly free from the constraints of belief systems, one must be able to constantly change their views to accommodate new truths. I only really looked at the first sentence, a little bit at the second one. I agree with the last sentence, the third sentence. To be truly free from the constraints of belief systems, one must be able to constantly change their views to accommodate new truths. When I first heard the concept of neutrality, it was a new truth. It seemed logical to me at the time. Well, if we're going to keep on fighting and polarizing things, we're maintaining conflict. We have to be neutral. Yeah, that seemed like a reasonable hypothesis, something to be considered. And as I said in the blurb, I actually taught it for a while. We've got to be neutral. But then I got to looking at the world. I got to looking at my own life. Sometimes, truthfully, sometimes neutrality may seem like a good thing. I don't want to take sides, because we can see the contribution that each side is making to the experience. And we can rationalize a whole lot of stuff. But when it comes to the conditions that we see in our world, and truthfully in the conditions we see in our lives, choice is the greatest gift we've ever been given. Choice requires us to evaluate, to assess, to judge, to discern. Do I want this? Do I want that? Which is actually the best way for me to go? What do I really want? What is my greatest desire? And we need to keep looking at that. And does this move me down closer to my highest ideal, my greatest desire? Or does it maintain the state that I've been in all along, which is generally a state of confusion, generally a state of not knowing, generally a state of ignorance? Maintaining the status quo is another name for it. But when you label something, When I label something, let me just put it this way. When I label something, I say to myself, this is how it appears to me. Not the way it is, but how it appears to me. And it's the only way it can possibly be. Like my perception is the only one that can be right. Well, darn it, I've lived a long time, certainly long enough to know that I've changed my mind as I've changed my perception. I've accommodated new truths, just like the truth of being neutral, which I now totally reject as being insanity. When I look at the world and I see the injustice in the world, and how did I see that? Oh yes, I could see it in other people, but when did it hit home? When did it land on Ron? It landed on me in the court cases, in the lawsuit, where the banker and his wife tried to deprive me of what Dr. Mary wanted me to have. They tried to take it away from me, and the courts played the game. And then the bank and the courts played the game of trying to steal my house. That's injustice. I'm not neutral. I'll never be neutral. It's wrong. What they are doing is wrong. That's a judgment. I'm judging them for their actions, or at least I'm judging the actions. It's wrong. It's evil. It's unjust. And that is the way it is. It's not the only way it can be. We can have a just world, but we've got to create it. We've created an unjust world. We've created a system where everything is ass backwards, inside out and upside down. Nothing is the way it seems. Nothing is the way we've been told. Everything is a lie. Everything is corrupted. Everything is distorted. Everything, as I said, is ass backwards. Everything. That's the world we live in. Now, are we neutral? The people that say it's not going to happen in my lifetime, they're neutral. Okay, yeah, I can see it, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm neutral. God will fix it when it's time. Right now, the dark forces hold all the power. Right now, they're so entrenched in this system, these dark bankers and the Illuminati and the powers of evil or the archons or whatever you want to call them. They're so entrenched in this world, there's nothing we can do. It's going to take generations at the least, and maybe even centuries to turn it around. That's neutrality. Where does it get us? Where does it get us? It maintains the status quo. When you get a channeled message from Saint Germain or some supposed ascended master, even from Jesus or Buddha or whatever, do you ever evaluate the meaning of the message? Do you look at the meaning? Now, some people get the idea that our whole purpose here is to find peace in the chaos, to just quiet our minds and to settle down and to accept the suffering around us because it's karma. Everything happens for a reason, and everything is the way it's supposed to be. It's all fate. That's called fatalism, by the way. That's a fatalistic mindset. It's the mindset that allows things to continue as they've always been because we think we're weaker than we really are. We think that they, the omnipotent they, or the omnipotent devil, has all the power and holds the marbles, has all the money and all the control. I want to tell you, that's not the reality I see. Now, why don't I see that reality? I mean, I can see where people get that idea. It's because they don't know where to look to find something better. And they resign themselves apathetically to the way it is. And they buy into the belief systems that lull them to sleep and allow them to disengage from the world and be in denial and acquiescence and roll over and play dead. Don't rock the boat because you'll only draw attention to yourself. Yeah, I'm drawing attention to myself. That's why I do videos every day. But it's not to me that I want to draw attention. It's to the ideas. Ideas are what matters, not me. Anybody could be saying these ideas, and the ideas are what's important. The perspective is what's important. Where are we going? Are we going to make choices to change the world, or are we going to accept the world the way that it is? Because, after all, I'm weak and there's nothing I can do about it. And I don't really have faith, I have beliefs. Faith moves mountains. Beliefs keep everything the same. You can believe till you're blue in the face, and that won't change anything. That's right. To be truly free from the constraints of belief systems, one must be able to constantly change their views to accommodate new truths. Are you willing to do that? Or do you think that, well, I've believed this since I was a kid. My mom taught me this, or the church taught me this, or the school taught me this. And, you know, I've been a Democrat all my life, and why should I change that now? I mean, God, I'm in my 50s or my 60s or my 70s. Why should I even consider something new? I've always been a conservative. I've always been a liberal. I've always been a Protestant, a Catholic, a Jew, a Muslim. I've always been a Christian. I've always been this or that. Give me a break. This is a new time. Behold, I make all things new, said the one who sat on the throne. This is the time that was talking about. This is the time when everything is being made new. This is the time when we have to choose. Choose you this day whom you will serve, or more correctly, choose this day what kind of a world you want. What kind of a world do you want to give your energy to? And you're not going to get out of the old world until you recognize that the old world is what it is, until you recognize the lies and the deception and the corruption, and face them honestly and recognize that it does mirror back a reflection of something that's in you, something that's in me, something that's in the collective of all humanity. Mostly, it mirrors back the collective of we're weak, the collective of there's nothing I can do about it. We're waiting for somebody else to come and save us, to come and rescue us. I know, I've been there. You know, how do I know these things? I know it because I've experienced it. I wanted somebody to come and save me most of my life. I wanted Jesus to come back and set things straight. I wanted the King of Kings to return to this earth and set things straight. Well, he's back. He never left. Truthfully, he never left. Everything that's ever been has always been here. And it's always been now. And now is the time. There's a lot of people spout that off. You know, now is the time. Be here now. Yeah. But then they don't want to get involved in actually doing something to change the world. They are neutral about things like that. After all, I don't want to mix my spirituality with politics. Well, politics is what's wrong with the world. You're not going to create heaven on earth if you're allowing the corruption to continue. And you don't even want to talk about it. You don't want to point it out. When you shine the light on darkness, the darkness is dispelled. And that's called, when you shine the light on something, that's called focus. And we've bought into the lie that what we focus on expands, when exactly the opposite is the truth. What we focus on disappears. When we focus on it honestly, from a place of integrity, from a place of authenticity, from a place of making a positive choice. But a lot of people have bought the concept that positive choices means I don't think about negative things, things that I don't like. I don't embrace my shadow. I don't look at what's wrong in the world. I don't pay attention to the news and to the bad news. I'm a positive person. I'm a yes person. I don't want to listen to that stuff. Well, that's where we need to focus. It doesn't expand by focusing on it, folks. That's a lie. We've been sold a bill of goods in our spirituality. That's New Age spirituality, and it's BS. Point blank, it's BS. It's actually not even New Age. It's old religion regurgitated and spit up out another way with a different way of expressing it, but it's the same old maintaining the status quo. We have the opportunity before us right now, and there are hundreds and thousands, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, I don't know if there's millions yet, that are actually working for positive change in the world. I'm one of them. I'm one of them, and I'm connected with others that are part of this movement to do something now, not wait till somebody else does it in some future generation. I want to leave the world better for my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, and I want to see my great-grandchildren. And that's going to be a while because the oldest grandchild is only 10. So it's going to be a little while before I get to see my great-grandchildren. I would say at least another 10 years, if not more. Anyway, the point is, don't buy all these belief systems just because they sound good. I know it's easy to do that. I've done it myself. When I've come up against a new idea, I've tried it on for size. So I'm not throwing rocks at you if you believe something. But question your beliefs. Question everything. Look at things objectively and subjectively. Look at things most of all honestly. How does it affect the world that I live in? Not just how does it affect my life. How does it affect the people that seem to be the weakest? Do you like seeing children dying of hunger? Do you like seeing children killed in acts of war and violence? Do you like seeing children raped by priests and by politicians that are very powerful? The elite are known pedophiles, folks. There's so much going on in our world. Wake up. Wake up and look at it. You focus your attention on it, it will ultimately disappear because what you focus on shrinks and goes away. You've been told a lie or a partial truth that may seem true in some instances, but certainly not all. There is no blanket solution or blanket remedy to everything that works in every situation and in every case. You are an individual, and all of your solutions will be individual solutions, but there are certain things that we need to do collectively, and one of them is to co-create. That is right, co-create a new world. It's up to us. The Spirit of God is here now in us. God is working right now in you and in me and in all of us. Wake up. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and God is doing it not for us, but in us and through us. Please wake up and make intelligent choices. Be aware of what's going on. There's so much good. Focus on that. Focus on the good. Focus on the solutions. But don't ignore the problems that we're here to fix. And there are problems that need fixing, despite what Abraham says through Esther Hicks. Thank you for listening. Namaste.